two squads. There are 4 released from the Scotland squad, 2 in the front row for Glasgow, including URC top try scorer Johnny Matthews and Jamie Batty, who plays his 100th game for the club. Max Williamson and Alex Samuel form a young second row, while 20-year-old Ben Afshar is handed his first start at scrum half. Ross Thompson and skipper Stafford McDowell return from international camp. Di Flanagan has a mounting injury list to contend with, but is able to welcome back Dan Lydiate into his pack after recent back and rib injuries. The 36-year-old will provide experience alongside George Young, who makes his first start of the season. And having Angus O'Brien is a huge boost. He's back from a broken arm. Steph Hughes is captain on his 30th birthday, and Ollie Andrews makes his pro debut on the wing. And Kai Evans, coming out, is the only player released from the Welsh Six Nations squad ahead of their trip to Dublin next weekend to face Ireland. And a standing ovation for Jamie Batty, the latest club centurion, made his debut back in 2016, and the 55th club centurion for the Glasgow Warriors. A milestone night for him, but now followed out by Franco Smith's men, and they are well placed to make a charge, eyeing up second place in the URC as they put their immaculate home record on the line. But before New Year, they delivered the 1872 Cup, albeit in defeat at Scottish Gas Murrayfield. In rather subdued celebration. Since then, they have qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions Cup. Andrew Brace will be in charge of this one. Well, Glasgow are eyeing up their position in the top 2. The Dragons are in a real tussle amongst those in the bottom 4. The Sharks have moved level on points with them this evening. But round 10 in the BKT United Rugby Championship, and 2 teams at opposite ends of the table face off. They shared over 100 points the last time they met here in European competition, and that may bring some rather significant anxiety to the visiting Dragons, who shipped over 70 of those points, 11 tries going Glasgow's way that night, and they went all the way to the final in Dublin last season in the Challenge Cup. And here's Josh Mackay breaking through. First attack for the Warriors. He's going to go all the way. Oh, it's immediate from Josh Mackay. That is a lightning start from the fullback. An individual score. Glasgow Warriors setting out as they mean to go on. You don't get much more perfect starts than that.
Well, now an Everton fan as well. We'll pretend they're Kai Poi socks for the people back home in New Zealand watching, but that man, he's been fantastic this season, and we talked him up before the game. But just look at him here. He manages to take this high ball down his feet and just sneak his way through, and I think that's Alex Samuel, is it, that he manages to find his way through? But once he gets through there, he's got the step.
Poor tackling, isn't it, from Joe Davis and Dan Lydiate? Neither get him. But that step at the end there, that's the money step. Just completely wrong foot. Kai Evans, you can see Kai Evans, he's corner flagging. Great ability and great change direction there from Josh Mackay. You picked him out at the start, Ryan. He hasn't disappointed.
And the extras are added as well from Ross Thompson on his return. He's had all sorts of ankle and foot injuries of late, but Josh Mackay, who has lit up the URC so far this season, he just continues, having made his debut against the Dragons 3 years ago.
You always talk about starting big, you know, making teams work hard for their tries. That one was well finished, but there's no way he should be getting through there, really.
No, you look at Ewan Ferry, he's done the escorted really well. Oh, here we go.
Well, it's Matthews with the hack on, and he can't quite keep that in play, but Well, we thought one was some start. It wasn't a million miles away from second. There is the URC's top try scorer.
Yeah.
Still doesn't sound right, does it? Saying the URC's top try scorer is a hooker. You expect to come from a back three.
Dragons in.
That Glasgow maul, it's so dangerous, Shanks, isn't it? They don't shy away from it. They go for it and go from it. And Franco Smith is happy for them to just keep plugging away, whether they get results or not. And
yeah, good.
More times than not, they do find the results. And there's that man at the back of it. And here he is again.
Here goes Johnny Matthews, the two hookers exchanging possession. James Benjamin couldn't hit his man. And the Warriors already are looking for a second score, and Stafford McDowell straightens and goes through the gap, and it's going to be another one. We've played just over 3 minutes. Stafford McDowell back from Scotland camp. Well, this is a real statement of intent from the Glasgow Warriors, and the skipper is over for their second score already.
Oh, you've got to look at this, and you applaud the attack, but you look at the defence from Dragons as well. There's two sides to it, but Glasgow looking really dangerous, really direct, and they're getting that ball out wide early. Stafford McDowell just looks, but he just sells Ollie Andrew, and he doesn't know what to do there. And again, it's not great defence, is it, from Dragons? And if they carry on like this, Shanks, it's going to be a long old evening.
They need something now. They just need to regroup themselves completely. It's been a shock start for them.
I mean, I mentioned that anxiety of the 73 points in the European game back at the tail end of last season. That must be the nightmares of that, must be giving them flashbacks now.
Yeah, it probably is. You know, it came from an overthrow at the line out. Then it was just typical Glasgow play, putting it out the back. And as the Dragons tried to adjust, it's the pace that really impressed me from Stafford McDowell. Just didn't have enough for Steph Hughes to cover across.
So Angus O'Brien with the restart, and it needs to be a complete reset from the Dragons. 14-0 down.
Ball is out. Hold in front, Glasgow.
And clear it goes from Ross Thompson. Good distance from the fly half. He's one of 4 that's been released from the international squad, but none of them with any minutes so far in the Six Nations.
Yeah, it's good to see Ross Thompson out there getting a bit more game time. And you'd think it would be unfair to Tom Jordan. He's done so well the last couple of seasons. He's broken through as the starting number 10 for Glasgow, and had Ross Thompson taken his place, but he pushes him aside to 12, and I think that's a position that really suits Tom Jordan's game. He's a solid carry, he likes the confrontation, he likes to hit it up, but he's also got a great boot on him. He's got a great set of hands from playing at 10, so that really suits the way Glasgow play, eh, Shanks?
Yeah, it does, but also you're filling, you know, what you're leaving, I don't know, Sione Tuipulotu. He's filling that void of being able to play it flat to the line, being a ball player as well, being able to play it out of the back, so suits the way Glasgow play. So it seems like a natural movement from him into the 12 position.
So just a third start in 18 months for Ross Thompson, but it was Kai Evans that is now just getting back to his feet, but that will be a pretty major concern. He is looking to shake off that injury.
Wait for the ball. All right, in you come, time on.
Now, this is the big area now. Dragons need to nail this line out just to retain some ball.
2. Good, yeah.
So Benjamin this time down by Matthew Screech, and now here come the backs and a chance to run for the first time for the Dragons. There's Jared Rosser with the opening charge for them.
Tackle, release. Good.
And goes Aaron Owen. Now Blacker with the chip through, and that is a little untidy and knocked on by Facundo Cordero, another debutant this evening. It's been quite a long time in coming for the 25-year-old Argentine. Was signed in March last season, but a couple of injuries, hamstring and ankle, have kept him from making his debut.
It's a horrible ball to pick up. Didn't bounce up at all, had to get down low.
So it's going to be really slow, fellas, okay?
Just took his eye off it slightly. But good set piece there from the Dragons. They needed that. They needed to try and get a little bit of confidence back into this game. But Jared Ross had just gone down the left-hand side. He wasn't going to make a clean break, but he got over that gain line, which meant Glasgow had to backpedal. It's good attacking position here, but you just feel how many chances the Dragons are going to get in these positions. They need to come away with something.
So Blacker will leave it for Lydiot, and there is the scrum half popping it on to Ollie Andrew, the 20-year-old debutant, looking to make an impression. And Blacker with runners. They've got to 6 metres out. Have the Dragons. This time it's George Young on his first start of the season. Blacker feeds on to Lydiot, and now getting weight behind it. Can the Dragons get this down? It has, though, been held up, but a decent response to what has been a disastrous start for the visitors.
Yeah, it is. You're getting them some ball on the front foot, and they've done well there, but you can just tell there, Stafford McDowell, he's not gone for the tackle that he knows is going to put him back. He's just caught the ball, and he knows exactly what's happening there, lets them carry it over, and he knows that he's underneath it. So it's great defence there by Stafford McDowell, but a little bit of positivity there from Dragons, and like you said, Shanks, those opportunities need to come away with points if they can get up here, because they're not going to get many of them.
Some footwork initially from Kai Evans. Sean Lonsdale. Some more front foot ball. Evans into the first receiver. There goes Owen into the 22 again, forcing the Warriors to defend. Can they front up better than their opponents? Rodri Jones this time. Glasgow do tend to absorb a fair amount of pressure, don't overcommit in the ruck, and they have managed to get the turnover there. It was Lonsdale that took it in.
First arriving.
I think it might have been Lucio Sordoni over the ball there, the big Argentinian. But you just look again, and it is positive play by Dragons. They're playing really well. They're getting some great carries, but just the urgency there to come in and get the clear out. And you look here, and it's Sordoni manages to make the tackle, release, and get his hands on the ball really quickly there for a big man.
Well, what George Young takes in there, he doesn't force him to make a tackle, does he? So he's able to stay on his feet and go for the ball straight away. You know, as an attacker, you've got to make defenders tackle you, get down on the ground as well. It's too easy to stand up to tackle someone because you can go for the ball straight away.
More!
Timing's
good.
Ewan Ferry, his
first
URC appearance of the season.
One stop!
Of course, was involved in that highly controversial moment at the end of the Champions Cup game at Sandy Park.
Ball is there.
Ben Afshar, the young scrum half, making his first start in pro rugby. Oh, and bursting through the gap goes Tom Jordan, again testing this Dragons defence, and they don't have any answers as yet. McDowell now, whenever Glasgow get it, they look like they could score, but a knock-on from Henko Fenter brings an end to that attack.
Oh, they look dangerous, don't they, Shanks?
Yeah.
And you spoke about it, Tom Jordan stepping up in that role of Sione Tuipulotu, and he's the first receiver there with Ross Thompson out the back, but he doesn't need it. He just sticks his head down, and that's what I'm talking about. He loves to carry. He likes to take the ball into contact, so he's got the threat of carrying, but also the subtle hands to put it out the back.
Yeah,
and
time off, sorry.
it's a great line break for him.
Yeah, it is. There's miscommunication there from George Young and Angus O'Brien, though, because Angus O'Brien doesn't end up taking anyone. George Young slips off the tackle, but that's lucky there for the Dragons, because you're right, Glasgow has set up really well in attack. Just conditions are, you know, you can see the rain coming down. It's going to be greasy. Concentration levels have to go up a little bit.
Sometimes the danger, isn't it, of starting really well, 10 minutes in, and then 2 tries in 3 minutes, and then trying to keep that momentum up. You know, it will have given the Dragons a real shock, but Glasgow just want to stay on top. They'll have targeted this game and said they want 5 points out of this to make sure they cement themselves in that second place, which if they get those 5 points, it takes them up there. And
yeah, it's good, mate.
This isn't what the Dragons want.
George Young will be desperate to continue here, a rare opportunity for the 22-year-old.
Happy then?
There is going to have to be a change here, and it's going to be Brodie Coughlin to come on.
Okay, let's go, yeah.
There's a real lack of back row cover, so that, I don't know, you'll know Shanks better, but will James Benjamin go into the back row then?
I think so. He's probably a little bit more mobile than Brodie Coughlin. Yeah, it looks like he is packing down.
Come on.
It's disrupting the back row even more now. You would have trained all week at hooker. All of a sudden, then you've got to play a totally different position, which asks a lot more from you physically. Cardiovascular, you've got to be all over the park now as a 7.
The other back row option is Sam Scarf, but 20 years of age. It would be a debut for him, and that is knocked on. It's going to be Warriors' ball.
Yeah, I know, but he's accidentally offside in front. Okay,
so that's bread and butter. That is just simple rugby basics. Not being able to perform. The pass is a little bit high. It's not ideal, but you should be taking that.
Dragons ready? We'll go left to the 15, please.
This is probably where George Young might have injured himself. His shoulder.
Just a little bit over the cliff,
holding it
so
there.
just hold that balance, please, all right? Bind phase critical. Just hold that balance.
They're air socks, aren't they? Looking like Tom Jordan. He's got the old air socks on there. He's another player, though, that, you know, you talk about potentially moving into the Scotland team and getting residency. Tom Jordan's a player that's been around a while now and starting to get to that point where people are asking questions. Could he be there? Could he find his way in that Scotland team? He's certainly got the game for it and the skill for it.
He's still got a while to go before any residency would be secure. This is Warriors with advantage, still have the ball, and Cordero. And fans will be desperate to see him in action. As Fenter with the more recent carry. Now the backs can have a go, and Jordan.
No advantage.
We will go back for the penalty from the scrum.
That was a great line by Stafford McDowell.
Just number 1 to the knee.
Picked it out beautifully, just couldn't get the ball. He was through as well. Watch this, just behind him. If he can claw that back, he's under the posts.
There's a lot of loads on that bind for me, fellas. Take the load off.
There's a couple options there, isn't it? And the defence are basically asking Tom Jordan to float one over the top, try and put a sort of missed pass over the top of them, and they can try and get the intercept. And Stafford McDowell reads it really well there. Sees him coming out and thinks, right, I'll give him another option. I'll get on that down line. If that goes to hand, that's another try, and that's 3 tries early. But this is a dangerous position for Glasgow now. They're so dangerous with this maul. Is this Johnny Matthews' try?
Matthews completes the first job into Alex Samuel, and this is where Glasgow are so dangerous. The most profitable from situations like this in the URC, and there is no man better at it than Johnny Matthews. Can the Dragons hold it up? Well, they can, but it's illegally as they bring that to ground. And there goes the penalty, and I suspect they'll just go for same again here.
Yeah, we've said it, haven't we? Franco Smith won't be choosing many options now, especially with that 14-0 lead. He'll just be making sure that message gets down. The boys will know it already. Let's go to the corner and keep hammering away. And Dragons have just given away a penalty there. The danger is you have too many of these to defend, and then someone ends up in the bin.
I'll stuff him down in the line out. I've seen him catch a ball against the Ospreys before on the line out.
Timing.
He's been up at the tail of lineouts. I've seen him take him at the tail, not only just the front.
Just because he can.
He can do everything.
There he is at the front.
Timing good.
Matthews goes to the middle. Alex Samuel again. It's a good initial response from the Dragons, but it might just leave them a little vulnerable.
Got a clear call, knock on.
But the Warriors haven't got it over. Knocked on in the process. Sordoni had his hands on it.
I think Sordoni's trying to nick it off Johnny Matthews. I think he's getting fed up with the try scoring record, and he's pulled it out his arm.
Matthews has got it tucked under his shoulder. Incredible that he doesn't score from there.
Yeah, it almost looks like, I think it's Dane Blacker that manages to get underneath him there and almost dislodge it a little bit as he's going over. But
ready,
he's
Dragons,
used to scoring those. Johnny Matthews.
Initially, it was a good line-out defence from the Dragons, but
I think he's hit
Glasgow able to slip on the inside.
On the left, all right?
Drops on me.
Dragons couldn't quite get them close enough to the touchline.
I can tell you, I mean, Johnny Matthews has this incredible try-scoring record, 34 in just 23 starts. He scored 7 against the Dragons, including 5 in that European game that we talked about. Averages 1 every 16 minutes, so he's got another 70 seconds before he's upping that average.
Can you imagine he goes over now? It's just madness, isn't it? It is absolutely crazy. He manages to get it out of the middle of the scrum.
There's a lot of load
the opposition
on the
put in. I don't really think so.
You're counteracting by coming back. Okay, going early. So take the pressure off, please, lads.
And now we're going to wait for him to tie his laces up.
So we can get a look at his socks, see whether he's wearing Everton Football Club socks.
Okay, John. Right, time back on.
The socks that the players are all wearing. There's a few mix-ups out there as well, isn't there? There's a few
you've also
odd ones.
You've also got to go score tries if you're wearing boots like that, mind, as well.
Crouch!
Or you run home in them.
Bind!
High-vis vest on.
Set! 2, 3, 4! 9!
So Dragons defensive scrum and picked up by Lydiate. Helped on to gain a little bit extra ground to try to make this more secure for Dave Blacker. Gets his kick away well. What can Josh Mackay do in response? Here's Jordan. Thought he'd seen a half gap. Afshar, Thompson, Gordon, and now it's Dobie. The makeshift winger trying to link up with the first choice scrum half in Afshar. Didn't quite go to hand. Afshar running that line that we've seen so many times from George Horn.
Yeah, and I don't mind seeing Glasgow force it a little bit. They know they've got the buffer, so they can force things a little bit more than normal.
Mistake coming from Mackay though, and straight into the hands of Owen, and now O'Brien targets space, but the mark is made well.
I don't think Kai Evans is right. He missed the tackle there. I'm not sure who it was on. It might have been
10 metres, please, Jared.
Down the right-hand side on Cordero, but got up very slowly from it.
Yeah.
Finding a lot of space on the outside.
15
Glasgow.
Dragons.
Yeah, you can see. Looks like he's probably going to come off.
It looks like you're going to look after that charity marathon walk you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
I imagine you hobbling the whole way around like that, Shanks. He's walking a marathon because he can't jog it.
It's for a friend of mine, Craig Maxwell, who's not very well at the moment, raising money for Blindra Cancer Charity. He's doing the whole of the coastal path of Wales, delivering the match ball for Wales v France.
Hold 2.
You reckon it's going to take you 10 hours?
More.
So Will Reid is the man on for Kai Evans, a second injury replacement in this opening quarter of the game. 2 off injured and 2 tries shipped. But the Dragons have steadied things of late. Flying up looking to make that tackle with Stafford McDowell, but he knocked it on in the process.
Yeah, it's good D though, he spotted that. They've gone, missed that 10 and tried to go straight across, and Stafford's come up and put pressure on. I think that's off the head, isn't it? So is it a knock on? I don't think so.
He's actually reversed the decision, I think, Andrew Brace, to say that it was perhaps knocked on into Stafford McDowell.
Yeah.
Joe Marler got his try assist with the header, didn't he, in the World Cup?
Yeah, did you see the memes that they made of it as well? Oh, unbelievable. The internet.
It was a planned move. It's the pressure from Stafford McDowell. Just Will Reid takes his eyes off the ball. Sometimes that's all you've got to do is just get off the line, get in the line of a player.
Bind! Set! Yeah, 9. Yeah, stay there. And we play.
Sharp with options. Jordan as first receiver now. It's Thompson that loops round. Mackay has Cordero outside him. And here goes the Argentine in full flow. This quick ball, but it's a loose pass. Just couldn't quite meet the fingertips of Alex Samuel.
Stop, Dragons.
So Dragons and Angus O'Brien can clear and long, and that's a fine kick from Angus O'Brien.
Oh, that is some clearance, isn't it? He's absolutely hammered that, but Glasgow looking really dangerous.
Okay, Mark.
Getting around the back there. Tom Jordan just holding it really late, puts it out the back to Ross Thompson, but it's this from Josh Mackay, just pumps and then gets it away. And Facundo Cordero down the edge there.
Really narrow.
Please, come on.
The Dragons in defence there. You could see an Iron Owen just plant his feet, and then that has a knock-on effect outside. So much space, and when the wingers get the ball and when the back three get the ball for Glasgow, there's no one up against them. They've got 10-15 metres to run.
Samuel again with ball off the top. Venter helps it on, and
Stepped away, play on.
Cordero. Venter again, the number 8, going in low, and Afshar from the base. And Rosser
Still alive. 9.
can't deal with it.
Well, it is greasy out there, Shanks. It certainly is. I'm just happy we weren't out there, because it would have washed the makeup off the top of your head. But there's been a fair few mistakes, isn't there?
Just basics. A couple of times we've seen you've got to really be taking them. There's no wind out there. It is a little bit greasy, you're right.
No, hook up.
But, you know, we play in Northern Hemisphere. Should be used to the rain.
I'm still not used to it. I still don't like it.
More.
Now they attack the short side. It's Johnny Matthews. What a burst of pace from the hooker.
Ball's
Afshar.
lifted.
And he was
Tackle's made.
well
Tackle's
challenged,
made.
so the pass lost its accuracy. Ferry, oh, it's good hands. Well, knocked on.
Vantage knock on.
Didn't quite work between
Tackle, guys, go.
Venter and Jordan.
Stay on,
Loads of
everybody.
space behind. That's a little bit
knock
too
on
late
advantage.
now. Cordero's covered it.
Vantage over.
Well, after that start, 3 minutes in, 2 tries,
Come on,
and then there's just
Roger.
been a whole host of mistakes. And
Play, John.
I probably jinxed it by saying I don't mind it. Glasgow forcing a little bit and making mistakes, but you want to see them get some phases of play together. The big man, Max Williamson, there just fighting through. He's a young man that gets another opportunity, and that is what the good thing about the Six Nations period, Shanks, isn't it? You know, this Glasgow thrive in it when they get to blood. A lot more younger players. They get game time in a shirt. Oof, they have it. Johnny Matthews with a bit of claret running down there. He loves it though, look. He absolutely loves it. He's not wiping that off.
That's rather dramatic as he heads to get patched up. So Warriors will make a change, and Angus Fraser will come on for him. With that first try of the night, 30 seconds in, the quickest of the URC season. Pretty easily beating CO Tompkinson's against Edinburgh.
No foul play there.
And they followed it
No
up
foul play, cleared off. Yeah.
just after 3 minutes through Stafford McDowell.
Happy day, Todd, yeah.
So it'll be a
Time on.
quick start for Angus Fraser. New deal for him recently.
6.
And straight into the action.
Contest fair.
And,
More.
how many
Don't
takes
change
already
it.
from Alex Samuel? The go-to man in the line out.
8 out. 8 out. 8. Okay, advantage, not out.
And a
Not
penalty
shoulder bound, 8.
coming. Dan Lydiot penalised, and
Get out quicker, please.
Warriors may now get this opportunity, put this in the corner. And I'll tell you what, if Angus
Not
O'Brien
shoulder
gets an
bound.
opportunity here, Johnny Matthews is going to be livid.
Oh, he will be fuming. That's probably why he ran off so fast, to get it stitched up, because he wants to come back on, because he knows there's going to be opportunities. And this is where you have to be squeaky clean against a team like Glasgow. You cannot give away any penalties in your own half, because, well, not on this occasion, but normally someone like Ross Thompson, Tom Jordan be able to get it 5 metres out. This one they've got a little bit more work to do.
Yeah,
Tom
Gus
off.
Fraser won't be thanking him there, will he? Because he
No.
thought, this is it, I'm going to get the try. Whilst Johnny's in there getting stitched up, now Dan Lydiot's down. He knew what he was doing, didn't he, Lids, at the back of that maul. He was hanging in there and just waiting for Ben Afshar to take the ball away. When you're in there and you've come in legally, you can stay there. But you heard Bray saying that, get out of there, 8, you've disconnected, shoulders aren't connected. And it looks like he's getting a finger put back together there. There's a few war wounds out there.
The first start at number 8 for the Dragons for Dan Lydiate since October 2009 against Gloucester in the Champions Cup. 1917 defeat. I don't know if you remember that one.
Well, he did have a sabbatical, didn't he, at the Ospreys for a bit as well. Oh yeah, of course I remember that game. Epic. This is the penalty. This is where you can hear Andrew Brace telling him he's got to get away.
He says, yeah, I'm out. He's been about old Leeds, isn't he? He's a good man, and often wearing the 6 jersey, though. That's why he was a low chopper, wasn't he? He'd take people's knees out like you wouldn't believe.
And that combination of him, Falatau and Warburton worked so well when it first burst onto the scene.
Time on.
And then you had Tipperick just kicking about as well.
It's all to do with the combinations, isn't it? You know, you've got a chopper, you've got someone good over the ball, and you've got, you know, a flair number 8, just trying to work out which one you were.
Question.
Ruck Inspector.
Yeah, scrum call.
Oh, come on, Shanks, mate. Come on.
Let's go, Dragons.
Handbag dealer.
Well, not straight from Angus Fraser, so he passes up his
Balance everybody.
potential opportunity.
Balance everybody. Crouch.
Last scrum the Dragons had here was knocked on by Kai Evans. They've just got to be really clinical in clearing their lines.
Stay square.
Warriors trying to get the shunt on that one, has gone all the way round, and Dragons, that makes the exit an awful lot easier.
It does, massively. Glasgow there just wheeling the scrum around. Looks a pretty good scrum, but then Batty seems to just move Chris Coleman. Then it's wheeled round. They had a good set piece about 10 minutes ago, the Dragons, from this situation where Jad Rossett goes down that left-hand side. The delivery of the line-out needs to be clean, needs to be concise.
On the far side.
They've got a good line-out, haven't they, Dragons? So something that Glasgow will be going after, but it's not easily done. And without the likes of Scott Cummins and Richie Gray, who are outstanding line-out men. So they've got the young men in there with Williamson and Alex Samuel.
Okay, stay 2 and 2.
They'll be looking to put some pressure on this, but you're right, if they can find a way to build off of this.
Backwards, can we play?
Brody Coughlin's thrown, tapped back by Lonsdale.
Stay.
Blacker now with runners as Lonsdale hits the line hard.
Take him back.
O'Brien to put height on it to test out Dobie, who's not the tallest up against Ollie Andrew.
Just shows you why set piece is so important, and when it's not delivered cleanly, the knock-on effect it has then. They're in a good attacking position on the 40-metre line. The delivery's not great off the line-up. They have to then build again. They don't go anywhere. They end up kicking. And now they've got a line out in the same position, but it's Glasgow's ball.
We saw it with Edinburgh last night, didn't we, Rory? The way that they were playing, they weren't getting much change out of their phase play, so they just started putting the ball up and getting chasers after it, and they found a little bit of a way into the game that way.
That's way too passive line speed for me from the Dragons.
Cordero chips on, there's a knock on as well. The opportunity alive for the Warriors, but they will go back for the first knock on, just as that one was chipped through.
I know it's difficult to compare it, you know, a team like this and as to a Six Nations game, but look how passive that line speed is compared to someone like England or Ireland, how quick they get off the line. They're just backtracking there, which makes it so much easier. You've got so much more time on the ball, you can pick your pass. There's edges around the outside. The Glasgow players aren't really under pressure. You've got to be able to put attacking teams under pressure with line speed.
Yeah, and Glasgow are really good at it, aren't they? Holding onto the ball and just giving it that little pump and just faking the pass and waiting for the defender to make a choice. And if you sit off them, they'll just keep carrying towards you. So you wonder whether they try and change it up a little bit. The tackle completion hasn't been great.
It's Cordero again. Afshar finding Ferry. Now Fraser, Johnny Matthews is preparing himself to come back on with his headgear. That's chipped through by Thompson.
Stop. Everybody.
Cleared long, but it's going to be returned by Josh Mackay, sizing up his options. He's able to get it on to Stafford McDowell. Dip of the shoulders from Max Williamson. Jordan, and the missed pass works to Fraser. He's got Dobie outside him. What a dummy from Fraser. He's got options, and he just charges in to Blacker, and it was just missing the final element, which was the offload.
Keep your feet.
Oh, that would have been equal to 5 more tries, wouldn't it, if Gussie had gone over there?
Okay, back now 1, contest over. Initial contest, good. Use it!
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that one back. If that went to hand, that offload.
Good. Use it! Stay on, please.
Dragons will take their time to clear here through Dane Blacker. And he's found a good angle there as well to get the touch.
Substitution, please.
It was better line speed, I thought, from the Dragons, but the bounce pass does him. What about this, Ryan?
Oof, there he is. And as that goes down, oh, Jamie Dobie goes over. It was a great break, and now he's got to come off because look, he's getting a round of applause for just that, and he's got a smile on his face, the young man. That was awesome to see, and there he is. He's back out there with the head guard on now.
I understand genuine injuries, but we've got to speed it up as well, mate.
How many times you see the bounce pass just fool defences?
Okay, we can't keep going down every time, right?
It was Jared Rosser came in, or maybe Ollie Andrews. Just jammed in, did the right thing.
Yeah,
the ball goes on the ground and just fools everyone.
Yeah, the last one was good. Come on. Are you in or out?
So
You've got to be 10 metres in.
Back on. And straight into the grasp of Samuel. Now breaking off goes Tom Gordon. He's now looking for the offload and finds Matthews. That has been poached. A great steal by Coughlin.
Good shot.
Release.
O'Brien swings it out to Owen.
Hold on.
And a chance to counter. Mackay with Cordero outside him. He was desperate for it. He now gets it. Rosser able to find that acceleration to haul him back.
On the ball.
Warriors will come again.
Nice, he held up.
Afshar, they're just looking to test that short side. It does just go forward as Josh Mackay was being tackled.
First up tackles, Dragons are slipping off. Anytime the ball is kicked into that backfield, you think Josh Mackay is going to easily break the first tackle. He did then, and that's what allowed Glasgow to go down that left-hand side. This was a great turnover by Coughlin. Exactly what the Dragons needed. They need more of this. Just that, maybe that double pump just didn't really need to give it, put it Glasgow under a bit too much pressure.
Yeah, you can almost sense guys are getting a bit frustrated now because they feel like they should be getting a few more points on the board. But that man so far, Josh Mackay, every time he gets the ball, he just fights through contact. That one last extra step before he thinks the tackler thinks they've got him, and he just manages to stay on his feet and keep going. He's so elusive. He's so low to the ground with his centre of gravity. He's absolutely fantastic. He's been so good tonight already.
It's his footwork before the contact. Constantly moving. He's never running straight into someone. He's always looking for arms, always trying to move the defender so they can't get a clean shot on him.
I just want him to pull the socks up to see if they are Kai Poi, whether they're Everton.
Point! Set!
Down goes the front of the scrum, but the ball should be there for Afshar. Has to go the full extension to get it, and we will require a reset, unfortunately.
Yeah, reset. There's not enough go forward. Let's go left to the 5, same mark.
Caps on the side with Sordonian, Roger Jones.
Chase that feet, boys. Left to the 5.
Went down pretty quickly.
Let's go, seconds. Let's go, seconds.
Seconds. Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay ball.
And now it's the full arm that goes up from Andrew Brace.
Outside first. No, you're in. You're on the outside.
Ryan's back with us now after doing the mascot duties.
That's it. On the 5 now.
Yeah, I'm out of breath running back up there.
You're set up already on the outside.
I reckon I'll be quite good at that job. It's a bit of me, that.
For me, he's set up on the outside and he's stronger left side from Roger.
So midway inside the 22 for the kick, and now the effective line out to come.
They've done all right, the Dragons, considering they've been under a lot of pressure. They managed to keep Glasgow out for a while, but it just takes it out of you. Saw it last night, Scarlets and Munster. Munster just constantly attacking, and this has an effect towards the latter stages of the game.
Well, there's a line out that comes back the Dragons' way. Eventually it's Joe Davies who gets his hands on it, but you're absolutely right, they have stemmed the flow, and it was vital after a disastrous start that they had.
It is, but they're constantly defending at the moment, and you just wonder, you know, come that 60-minute mark, how much they've got left in the legs.
Dane Blacker gets his kick away, safely to touch.
The interesting thing is, though, those coaches up there in the Dragons box to our left, Shanks, they'll be happy men now after 30 minutes, knowing that after that disastrous start, the 2 tries so early on, they were looking at going, oh no, this is going to be a long old day, but they've managed to find a way to cling into the game. They put some phases together up in Glasgow's half, but just haven't come away with anything, and we said that would be important. Glasgow just killing themselves a little bit with how clinical they can be.
No, not for me.
It's Jordan off Matthew's break. It was a bit of a question if there was a knock-on from Afshar, but allowed to play on.
You're into your man.
Running into his own man was Cordero.
They look like they change a little bit, don't they, down here? Dragons suddenly putting a lot more pressure on. You asked about it earlier, but when Glasgow exited out of their own 22, own 30 sort of metres, they seem to sit off them a bit and give them loads of space to run into, but they're putting a lot more pressure on, and yeah, they're getting better change out of it.
Well, Brodie Coughlin there just slows that ruck down, just probably an extra second or so, which allows Dragons to come around the corner and allows them to get off the line and put more pressure onto Glasgow. If that's quick ball, you can't recover. So, again, does well. It's been good since he's come on, I think, Coughlin.
Crouch!
Flanagan has been speaking of the opportunities this evening for some of his wider squad. Both teams have got 21 players out through, be it injury or international representation, but Glasgow and their budget make for a much deeper squad.
Second penalty the Dragons have won, scrum time.
Cranking down, losing bind.
Which is good.
Yeah, he's stuck in there for me, mate.
Sordoni there being penalised for pulling the scrum down.
Cranking down and losing his bind with the wording. I don't want cranking 90s means on Fortnite today. My son's just stood over there to the left of us. You know what Fortnite is, Shanks? You ever heard of that?
2 weeks.
He's quick, isn't he? He's quick, I like that. Do your kids play Fortnite?
Game on, mate, come on.
Do they?
No.
Now it's the Dragons' turn to look to get them all going and to get the man to ground.
Stop!
Being held up and not coming out of there, it will be a Glasgow put-in.
It's just gone a bit stale, isn't it?
It can happen, can't it? I mean, you talked about it from the players' point of view, but I think also supporters probably came here with maybe a bit of an expectation that Glasgow would win. They see 2 tries in the opening 3 minutes, and there's maybe almost a bit of complacency.
Yeah, that's it. And they're thinking, this is it. We're going to be on our feet every 2 minutes. And
take the pressure off, and I need you straighter. Is that clear?
Half an hour has just been full of mistakes, full of handling errors. No one really making many inroads, and you're just waiting for the next one to come. And you feel like when it does come, sometimes the floodgates open, and then there's a whole host of tries.
Dragons concede a lot of tries in that 60 to 80 minute mark. You know, towards the end of games. You think this might be the case today.
Stay there.
Got to try and stay within 2 scores of Glasgow, mind. That's the key for them at the moment.
Use it.
Thompson with the nice flat pass to McDowell, who picks out Jordan, and now Quintero makes the extra man for Dobie, who steps one. It was a great ankle tackle coming across.
Iron Owen.
Yeah. That was desperate defence, but it was perfectly executed by the centre.
Really slick move there from Glasgow. So much time. Stafford McDowell there. That's the quality pass. Takes it flat. Brilliant feet there from Cordero. But he gets straight down, and Iron Owen nails him straight down, and then I think it's Will Reid pilfers the ball. But look how much time Glasgow have got to attack. They're able to pick off their runners, time on the ball.
9.
It's a bit too easy for them at the moment to get round the outside.
Hold the 10.
3.5 minutes to go in the half.
Hold your zone. Small. Broke off.
Now, Gordon into the 22.
Wait.
He's a bit of a lone attacker for a while now. It's the Centurion, Jamie Batty. Venter, Thompson. Oh, and cutting a line through goes McDowell to Josh Mackay, who got it all started in the opening 30 seconds. Glasgow Warriors have had to wait a while between tries 2 and 3, but it's the man that got the opener who's got the third, and Josh Mackay goes over for his 2nd of the night.
Oh, that is fantastic. Watch this angle from Stafford McDowell. He tried to run an angle, a similar angle about 10 minutes ago. He couldn't clear the ball. This time it's delivered right into him. It's a brilliant line. Jared Russell can't recover, and that is quality centre play. Makes the break, links with his full back.
You're right, though. It's the way he just gets down, and he's spotted it a few times, hasn't he? He's seen them jumping out of line. That is the issue if you try and blitz and try and get up on those players, and you've got a man like Stafford McDowell. He's a big man, 6'4", manages to get on that down line, and he's so dangerous. And the pass goes to hand, and Josh Mackay is on the end of it. It's a great try for Glasgow, and that's what I said. We'll find that moment. I wouldn't be surprised they snuck another one now. It's the sort of feeling you get. They get their tails up, and then there's a little bit more energy about them.
Thompson for 2 more. Glasgow Warriors move on to a 21-0 lead thanks to Josh Mackay's 6th try of the season.
But it's the same thing every time. The forward pod, 3 forwards, but they've actually managed to go across 2 forwards there and pull it out of the back, which is just catching the Dragons off.
Okay, away now. Inside.
So Afshar from inside his 22, but looking to set one up for Batty in a central position.
Okay,
Thompson.
Hold on.
He's got plenty behind that. Ross Thompson taking it quickly though. Come the Dragons, looking to return this one. Coming forward is Thompson. Excellent take from him. Now stepping and looking for space. 2 left to beat. Cuts back to the left-hand side. He needs some support. It is now there. Jordan. Warriors looking to finish this half the way they started it, with 2 quick tries.
Stay.
Cordero
tackle. Out.
He's driven backwards. The attack has just lost a bit of momentum. Batty.
No!
Camped on the edge of the Dragons 22. Ferry, Thompson, Jordan. It's been a good link up between 10 and 12 in this opening half. And Ewan Ferry carries again.
Out the back.
Thompson for McDowell. Defence has been good though. And the Dragons not giving up much ground here. But the Warriors, a knock on, brings an end to the half from Ben Afshar, and it certainly started at a canter inside 30 seconds. Josh Mackay went over and they helped themselves to another just minutes later through Stafford McDowell, and they threatened to run riot, but it was Josh Mackay who had to wait until the last couple of minutes of the half to find try number 3. And at the break at Scotstoun Stadium, it's Glasgow Warriors 21, Dragons 0. Unbeaten turf this season in the URC, with a 21-point lead to protect, to build on perhaps. The Dragons with plenty of improvement, not just tonight but the whole season away from home, where they're yet to win away. Haven't actually triumphed on the road in this competition since April 2022. That came at the Scarlets. Haven't won outside of Wales in the URC since October 2021. That came away to Connacht.
Out, Glasgow!
Well, it's been a real problem for them, just the 2 wins.
Yeah, you're good, but I can't.
All
He's
season. 3 in all competitions.
2 first.
But a penalty early on, and I mean, I guess for Di Flanagan's point of view, you never know what might happen in a game of rugby, and so you never discount your team coming back and winning it. But I guess you start to try to take positive steps, that the next thing needs to be a positive.
Completely agree. I think that is Welsh Rugby at the moment. We try and take the positives from all of our games, because we just don't have the budget at the moment. We don't have the player depth. He's got a tough job in his hands, Di Flan, with the Dragons, but a lot of the Welsh coaches do. Nearly all of them do. You know, there's just no money in Welsh Rugby as there is in Scottish Rugby or Irish Rugby. So you're constantly on the back foot, but this is a better start for the Dragons considering the first half.
Brodie Coughlin has got his hands on that at the back of the maul, looking to do some further damage. He's had a good impact off the bench, the substitute hooker. Now Blacker wants to get involved, and here's Aaron Owen. Blacker spotting a little mismatch there. And certainly the best bit of attacking we've seen from the Dragons. It's Owen once again. And Coughlin. They would love to hit back early here. Jared Rosser.
No! Second.
Almost through, but not quite. Dan Lydiot now. Knocking on the door really for the first time and looking to score quickly in this second half.
Everybody.
Come the Dragons. Pick up again from Lydiot.
Arrive up! Arrive up! Push back.
There's no natural overlap at the moment because of the Glasgow defensive spread, so they've got to keep tying in these Glasgow forwards before Dragons even get a chance to throw it wide.
Stay on. Let's go.
Blacker setting up the 2 second rows. Wait. Matthew Screech is first to carry, but goes straight into ground. Sealing that off, was it Joe Davies? And the penalty goes Glasgow's way.
There was no one there to take over the ruck. Watch this carry now from Matthew Screech. Goes down. You can latch onto a player, but you're not allowed to go down with him directly, and that's what happens.
Equally, you look at Tom Gordon, absolutely no care for his body, that man. He doesn't mind putting his head in the spokes, and he's come flying up there. The problem with Dragons there, Shanks, is that it's so slow. Everything's so slow that they're not getting any momentum there. So Glasgow easily fill the field, and they've got a chance to come out and just chop people's legs away. And that bloke, he is a tough man, old Tom Gordon. Loves the wild, loves hunting, loves fishing, loves camping. Proper Kiwi bloke.
It's my kind of guy. Outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy.
Just the 16 tries in 9 games for the Dragons. There's Henko Venter making some excellent ground from the Warriors, number 8. There's Dobie and finds Jordan. An injection of pace. He's got Afshar on his shoulder. And on Ben Afshar's first start in pro rugby, he has his try, and the Glasgow Warriors have their bonus point. And this time, it's only taken 4 minutes of the half for the Warriors to crash over.
You've got a little bit of everything, haven't you? Henko Venter, great line, spots the gap and goes through it. You've got Jamie Dobie bumping people off, a 9 that's playing on the wing. Then Tom Jordan. Again, we talked about that centre partnership, but look at this, Jamie Dobie just sitting people down, and then this guy, he's everywhere. And a typical 9, Ben Afshar, really bright young prospect for Glasgow Warriors on his first start. He's a brilliant young player, and Glasgow really have been blessed with 9s. Scotland have been blessed with 9s, and this young man, he's got a big future, and it's brilliant to see him go over on his debut, his first start, sorry.
Thank you.
Ross Thompson keeps up his 100% record, and Glasgow Warriors extend their advantage to 28 points to 0.
That was the offload from Dobie there. That's the one that really cuts the Dragons. But how about that? The Dragons are just pushing the Glasgow line, and then 60 seconds later, one break from Venter gets them on the front foot. A really good carry and offload by Jamie Dobie, and the Dragons are under their own post. I think this is the collision with Jamie Dobie.
Yeah, but 2 wrongs don't make a right, John. So if you can hold on here, and I'll make sure you get a gap. So if they close, I'll deal with it. You just stay on the mat. You just stay on the mat.
I just love listening to Johnny Matthews. But that break by Henko Venter, what's really impressed me is Glasgow, at times they're happy to just go route 1, take the ball into contact, but also the footwork. He spotted the gap, and he's managed to, little step, find a half gap, and it turns into a full gap, goes straight through. And it's the footwork, you mentioned it, Shanks, the footwork before contact from people like Josh Mackay. There's no footwork there from Jamie Dobie, and he's just been caught awkwardly, hasn't he, there, in the injury. But it is interesting, Glasgow with 3 9s in the matchday squad. We've got Sean Kennedy on the bench, and Ben Afshar obviously started at 9, but Jamie Dobie an out-and-out 9 normally.
If it works for South Africa, mate, it works for Glasgow.
Exactly.
You need 1 more in there, you need 4.
Well, we've got 3 hookers. Gregor Hiddleston, who re-signed, I think, his pro deal this year, this week. He's on the bench covering the back row as well. Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it?
It's Rodri Jones here. Let his head go straight into Jamie Dobie's chest. It looks like he's compressed his neck. Really hope he's okay.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but it looked like head on head. I'm happy he's all right and walking off the field, and there's my old mate Aki Seuli, who's going on. It's Glasgow Warrior.
2 years a Glasgow Warrior, and he was an unfamiliar company on the bench. He was at 31 years of age. He was the only one over 23. It's a young bench that Di Flanagan has available to him.
He acts like a 23-year-old. That's the reason he's on that. He acts like a 23-year-old at all times.
Doesn't quite go to hand, and the forward pass will lead to a scrum for the Dragons.
Forward pass.
You don't mind that though, if you're a Glasgow fan. You're 28-0 up, you're having a crack through your own line, you've got 3 players back, covering the backfield for the Dragons. Just could have given it a bit earlier, I think. They're trying to take it to the line, but when you take it to the line, you pass it on. Sometimes the player that's catching it is under so much pressure.
Strong left side, please. Nice and straight, guys.
Played in a band together. Did a little gig at the Hard Rock Cafe in Glasgow, me and Aki. It was a beautiful thing, Shanks. You would have loved it. The scrum bags.
Point!
What were you? You sing a songwriter, music naturally?
Lead singer, and played the triangle.
Use it! Both down far side.
Dragons' chance to attack. Owen sends it out to Andrew. Now with Screech.
Tackle move! No.
A lot of experience in that second row. O'Brien onto Steph Hughes, the birthday boy, but he's held up by Tom Jordan. It's going to be tricky to get him out of there, but enough weight, but there will be a Warriors put in.
Whoever's at first receiver for the Dragons, they just have to go forward first. Just half a metre forward, just so that you can't drift off as quickly if you're a Glasgow defender. Everything's a little bit lateral off first receiver, so then there's no point marking him. All defenders can just drift off, and then you're running into big players, you run into numbers, and ultimately you're going to get held up like that.
Yeah, it's the first one we've seen tonight. It's a technique that Glasgow like to use. They get 2 players holding up the ball carrier and getting someone on the ball, and Tom Jordan's done a really good job there with Alex Samuel to find a way to get the turnover. And you feel like Glasgow, every time they're back in their 22, they find a way just to get the ball back, and they just want a clean exit here.
Square! Yeah. And use it!
Venter with the pick-up through Blacker, and now picks out Cordero on the wing. The chip on from the Argentine is being chased rapidly by Tom Gordon. It's the speed of Jared Rosser that gets back to knock that out. But Glasgow Warriors, you said they just wanted a clean exit there. They certainly went for the exciting option rather than just the straightforward kick out.
Venter again, Ryan, just making half a break. How good's that?
But it's almost something that maybe Glasgow has spotted, because it's not often you pick and go down that short side, and they've tied someone in there. He's managed to get rid of the 9 and give it, and you just look at Tommy Gordon running after that one. He's given everything. Run, Forrest, run.
Do you know what I liked about Cordero then? Held the ball in 2 hands all the way.
And it was a good kick, wasn't it? He controlled it really well.
Contest fair.
Well, a challenge at the line out.
Stay on, Dragons.
Which means that the Warriors can't set up the maul, but Matthews might have some other routes to the try line. He has the first go. There's advantage coming here for the Warriors, so will they try something inventive? Gordon with the latest carry. It's now with Jordan, Thompson, space out wide, and the try is not going to quite be scored. Doby couldn't get there.
No advantage.
And we'll go back for the penalty.
Not for me, Bracey. On the 5.
Will Reid does excellent there to defend that kick. Again, really good usage of space there from Glasgow. Realise where the space is. Kick is
okay, but I'm trying,
just as
to
good.
call you out. The tackle is in the runway.
But you're right, he does a really good job to get back here.
That is
because
tough.
Jamie Doby's managed to get off the floor, and you just think he's going to have to check it, and he's done really well to make that tackle. Try saving tackle there.
You lose the ball over your shoulder as well, so you can't see it. You have to rely a lot on instincts. Will Reid definitely stops the try for the time being.
I'm not sure Johnny Matthews suits that head guard, does he?
Matthews. What?
6 leaving early.
Well, it's Ewan Ferry that
I said it in the first
penalised for leaving the line.
Number 6. Leaving early to the front. Set up a more.
Yeah, so Ewan Ferry just getting done there for coming out the line out early.
Oh, it's just on the 15.
They're trying to crack down on that, referees, to make sure there's a fair contest and you can't sort of power into those drives. So he said he's asked for it in the first half, so he's pinged it straight away when he's seen it the next time.
Yeah.
There's Josh Mackay up to halfway. Now Fenter. He's had a good impact in this game.
Okay.
It's pretty tough competition for that 8 jersey at the Glasgow Warriors. Jack Dempsey, Matt Fagerson.
Stay there. Yeah.
Afshar. Unchallenged, the take from O'Brien.
Yeah. And use it.
Coughlin securing it for
Stay on.
Blacker.
All in front,
Will
stop.
deliver that back into the 22 for O'Brien.
Happy there, lads. All on. All on.
Mackay. He got up his sleeve this time. Sayuli looking at the turnover that I think the Dragons might well have got. The penalty coming too.
Come in there, lads. First man, diving on the player.
Good defensive line chase there from the Dragons. There's a good kick by Angus O'Brien. Josh Mackay had to take it over his shoulder, which means he couldn't catch it and run straight away. Each defensive line can move further up the field.
So he's stolen the ball, you can't come in there too.
This one needs to get 5 metres out if they can.
Oh, that's a great kick.
Yeah, that's really good.
Superb from Angus O'Brien. I mean, he's been out with a broken arm since November, the game against Munster. It's a huge push because 10's been a real problem for them. Really, Kai Evans has been the main option, but Di Flanagan sees him as more of a 15. That's whereas he wants his future rugby to be, but Angus O'Brien coming back into the fold now.
Just needs to stay fit, get a run of games. It's difficult coming straight back in after a long injury, especially against a team like Glasgow, where you're going to be under a lot of pressure.
10 metres, please.
So the longer he stays fit, the better the Dragons will be.
More! Inside 5,
Coughlin's delivery, and now they're adding numbers to this maul. The Dragons desperately looking for
Dragons to floor.
Their first points of the night. Peeling away goes Coughlin.
No hands!
That's penalty.
Now Blacker.
No hands down, good.
It's just short, about a metre or so for the Dragons to go. Joe Davies helped out by Sayuli. Now it's Coughlin, who's put in a power of work since coming off the bench.
Onside! Stay there.
Ricky Sayuli would love to score on his return to Scotstoun. Picked up and shifted on from Lonsdale, and there is the advantage here as Joe Davies presents it.
Onside!
Idiot offering his assistance. Blacker now looking to deliver the pass for the backs to have a run. They just can't free up the space.
Stay on.
In front of the post now.
Number on that, Marius.
Penalty still coming as Lonsdale has another go.
No hands,
Hughes. They're getting closer. Blacker.
Short and move.
And just short.
Stay on, stay on.
Owen goes into play scrum half this time. Remember, they do have that penalty insurance to come, the Dragons, and breaking through to eventually get that score. First points of the night coming the way of the Dragons, and they had to put in so much effort to get that reward.
I think it's Matthew Screech in shot who comes away with a try, but that's the third time in asking. The Dragons have got about a metre out from the Glasgow line. This time they're a little bit more patient. Let's see Screech at the back. Number 5 on his back, picks it up, gets nice and low, the gears. Ooh, a little bit of obstruction there maybe from Dan Lydiate.
Yeah, Nat, you could hear Tom Gordon wasn't happy, and I was going to say it's great to see that Glasgow so frustrated
Might
because
have a look at it.
they won't want to give anything away, but you could see the Glasgow players arguing the case there, and I think there might be a little bit of obstruction there by Dan Lydiate in front of him.
Just going to check it, I think.
Marius Jonker is the television match official.
Watch number 8 here, Dan Lydiate. He's behind Matthew Squeech at the moment. He's going to try and latch on, but slips over the top, creates the channel.
Yeah, that's obstruction.
Yeah.
Okay,
Takes out Ewan Ferry, doesn't he? He can't impact the tackle.
Stops it being a contest.
Potential obstruction, is it?
Yeah, it's clear as day. We know this is coming out as obstruction, but Dragons do have the penalty advantage, don't they, Shakes? And there have been a couple penalties given away, a few infringements.
Actions here of number 8, Gray, coming in front.
So 8 comes in front.
Takes number 6 out.
Yeah.
And then clears the space for a try being scored.
Yeah. Okay, so 8 in front of the ball, prevents a possible tackle from being made. So then just allowed to try and go back to the penalty for the no arms tackle. Did you get a number on the no arms tackle?
I did unfortunately not get a number for you. But yeah, it's 5 meters from the goal line.
Yeah. So just look on this last angle here, mate.
Yeah.
It's harder to see from this angle.
So 8 goes in front of the ball, takes out the tackler.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
No try.
Because you've got players in the way,
Obstruction.
James Benjamin.
Going back to the penalty. Yeah.
Well, they took their time to get there.
No advantage. Just wait.
Here's
Give it the mark.
no arms tackle led to the
You didn't
penalty.
get a number. There's 2 penalties against you, and then there's a no arms tackle. Okay, tidy up, please.
Well, a warning for Glasgow Warriors.
Yeah, now they've had that warning, they've got to be really, really squeaky clean, because you just feel like Andy Brace
Come on.
will be looking for anything from Glasgow. Because I think Dragons will feel hard done by here if they come away with no points. They really will feel aggrieved. Been hammering away there.
Wait.
Coughlin leaves it, and going in is Benjamin and
Didn't tap
to
it.
Coughlin, but oh, no tap. Well, what a frustrating moment for the Dragons. After all that, they thought they'd scored, then at least they had the penalty in their back pocket, but oh, that's a bit of a shocker, really.
You've got to tap the ball. James Benjamin comes in, I think.
Oh, that is not the one you want to be watching back on a Monday morning. Boys, what's the rules around that? And yeah, I know, you've got to tap it. Maybe he thought his teammate had done it already.
It did look like a little bit of a fake tap by Brodie Coughlin, but I mean, you would have practiced that, wouldn't you?
Well,
it's not something he just made up.
Let's just say, if I was him, I'd blame it on Brodie Coughlin. I'd just say I thought he had tapped it. He told me he was going to tap it before. So.
I don't know if I've seen one of those before. That would be a bit risky to leave the ball live. You know, penalty to come for Glasgow. You see in football when they do the short corner, they just roll it out the quadrant. Not seen it in rugby. And I think that's why.
Yeah, but you look at Glasgow there in the
Same
scrum.
as the first half, going around the corner on the outside, loose head.
Dragons going around the corner, you can hear him talking about the loose head there. And Glasgow managed to clear their lines.
3 and 5, Glasgow. Cheers, mate.
Like I was saying, they must feel really frustrated that they've come away with nothing. Still 0 on the board, and it starts to eat away as you as a team. You look at it going, we want to get something in. Too late to start going for the 3, so it'll only come in the form of a try.
Changing the props, Nathan Macbeth and Ollie Kebble come on for Jamie Batty and Lucio Sordoni. So Batty on his 100th appearance heads off. So too does Alex Samuel, and Sintu Manjesi comes on for him.
Finding good. More.
Well taken at the line out that time from Max Williamson.
I got on the ball.
Venter and Thompson. Williamson again. Oh, great carry from him, and he's got Gordon alongside him. Afshar, oh, he had to give the pass, surely. Afshar would have been in for his second.
Okay.
There's another injury there in the contact. Jared Rosser writhing in pain. Tom Gordon, who's so abrasive, explosive from Williamson, but that just brings a bit of a halt to the momentum for the Warriors.
In the way here,
We'll
guys.
have to just stop the play. Jared Rosser, the injured player, too close to the action.
Had to give that pass early. The dummy looked good, but then by the time we wanted to give it, there wasn't enough time.
You look at big Max Williamson here. He manages to fight through, keep his feet and get the offload to Tom Gordon. But yeah, you just feel like maybe he needs to get it. He does the right thing. He sort of heads away from him to draw the defender, doesn't he? And
well, Will Reed does nothing there, really. He comes up, he's not taking anyone. Phil, if he gives that early to Afshar, it's a try, guaranteed.
Tom Gordon, another player that's really impressed me tonight. He's not had a huge amount of opportunities this season, but he's carried really well. You mentioned it, abrasive, just the contact when he carries the ball. And he's, again, not a huge man, but he manages to fight his way through and keep on going.
You sort of have a conveyor belt of that type of player. If you think of Hamish Watson, became Rory Darge, and now you've got Tom Gordon. You know, really quick on their feet. It's low centre of gravity, not the biggest, but little terriers around the field.
Yeah, that's it.
Connor Boyle at Edinburgh, quite similar. A couple of changes being made. Luke Yendall coming on, Joe Westwood as well, and yeah, you mentioned 3 hookers in the squad, 3 scrum half, 3 fly halves as well, because Duncan Weir has just come on for Ross Thompson.
We're going to see Joe Westwood come on soon, hopefully. Know his father, Jonathan Westwood, not a bad player himself, and probably could have made it if he had a bit more ability, speed, strength, agility.
Yeah, I went a bit early with Joe Westwood coming on. He is still just waiting on the sideline. That will go out on the full, so the Warriors will get a reprieve and another attacking opportunity.
He lifted it.
Henkevender's done well as well, hasn't he? He's managed to find himself in some open space. That time, I think he's complaining because the Dragons player called him for the ball maybe, and he's given the offload to him, but he's carried really well. Off the back of these scrums, there's just been some open ground there, and he's been done there by James Benjamin, I think.
He's not dying with the ball either, is he? You know, he's able to get through the first tackle, where he's held on, or whether he breaks cleanly and offload. That time was to a Dragons player, but times before it's been to a Glasgow support player.
It's McDowell. Wonder if he got a shout on his shoulder. There's Afshar. And Jordan sees a gap. Pulled down.
Fine.
It's rather
First
loose,
man.
a tricky scrap for Afshar. Picked up by Macbeth.
No!
Fenter, he's only going one way. Head down and straight at the nearest attacker. Afshar to make an extra couple of meters. In goes Dobie. Andy having an extra scrum half available, and Macbeth then carries. Dobie again. McDowell with the little dink through. But Jordan and Mackay couldn't quite catch up with it.
It's the right idea, isn't it?
14 Dragons.
That's where Glasgow have been really smart. They've realised there's no way through there. They're not really going anywhere, and Stafford McDowell really subtle with that boot.
Here he is now, Joe Westwood. We gave him his intro earlier as Jared Rosser leaves. Certainly someone to look forward to for the future. Highly thought of. The Dragons.
He made his debut against the Sharks last month. You mentioned his dad, Jonathan. His grandfather, Keith, was a bit of a Newbridge legend in his day as well. So
they're all legends around that area.
Rugby in the genes.
I believe his great-grandfather was Jonathan Keith as well.
Hold in front, stop.
Clear it goes from O'Brien. Cordero takes it, thought about the quick one. Mackay was on, but electing to settle for the line out.
We'll take the line, Dragons. Happy, yeah?
Well, now quickly taken.
Play on, thanks.
Step again from Gordon.
Okay, it's just lost into him.
Just gone forward in the contact.
The game's gone. You know, it's 28-0 to Glasgow at the moment. You can't see the Dragons coming back from this, but I just want to see them do something from this scrum. It's a centre field scrum.
8 and 4, yeah.
They've got the put in. I just want to see them attack that line. Go out there and try something now. They've got a team full of youngsters. It's inexperienced. Doesn't matter. Just go out there and try and put some pressure onto Glasgow. It starts with the scrum, I get that, but why not? Just go after them. Go through your set piece. Go through your best move you've got from a centre field scrum.
No, 3 youngsters coming on. Barney, Langton, Cryer, who makes just his 2nd appearance. Played against Munster in November. You can see those heading off. Joe Davies, Dan Lydiot, Dane Blacker. Also, Sam Scarf coming on for his debut. Big moment for the 20-year-old from Pontypool. And also, Shea Hope makes his first appearance of the season, while Ben Afshar heads off. And I'm assuming it was Sean Kennedy that came on. Yes, Kennedy is on at scrum half.
Yeah, so even more youngsters now for the Dragons. You've got Will Reid one side, Angus O'Brien the other. That's the problem.
First involvement for Hope.
Stay on.
Brian then finds Langton Cryer. These youngsters getting some of their first tastes of professional rugby. A tough place to do it as well. We'll learn a lot from this as Shea Hope goes in. Substitute scrum half.
No, it's better. It's quick ball at the moment. So 2-second rucks.
Coughlin.
Move, tackler! Yeah.
Kept pumping the quads there. O'Brien. Well, it's neat hands that eventually release Lonsdale. And Scarf, the debutant.
Tackler, you've got to release.
Hope. A lot quicker ball. Ollie Kebbell comes to try and close that off.
So now it's slowing down a bit where Glasgow are able to realign.
Seuli out to Owen. Warriors thought they had the turnover there, but not to be, and now Westwood.
Stepped off for me.
Carry coming from Will Reid. Hitting it hard as Luke Yendall.
Onside, move!
5 meters out. Really good passage of play this from the Dragons. Phase after phase is the reward to come. It's Owen.
Tackle out!
Nowhere for him to go, really.
Advantage.
But there is advantage coming. And looking to try the short side. Lovely ball back inside from O'Brien. And the try scored by Will Reid.
Finally, the Dragons get a bit of reward for the pressure they put Glasgow under. Much better there. Speed of ball was really good. I think it's the first time we've seen an inside ball where everything's been front runners, really. This time they got penalty advantage, so they got a free shot. They come back left. Good support line on the inside from Will Reid. Lovely ball from Angus O'Brien. You have to say they've deserved the try. They've been knocking on the Glasgow line 4 or 5 times this game.
Well, the bench made quite the impact there, speeding up the delivery.
That's it, and we spoke about this period, the last 20 minutes for Dragons being their poorest, but with this young talent coming off the bench, the people wanting to impress and put their hand up for selection, you can only think it's going to be a little injection of energy, and you saw it there in the speed of ball and some of the way that the players were carrying the ball, and that's what happens when you get some young fellas on that are desperate for an opportunity. You can shift, but it's maybe too little too late for Dragons, but they definitely deserve something after the amount of times they've been down there hammering away at Glasgow line.
I mentioned the difficulties that they've had on the road. Their average margin of defeat away from home this season is 36 points, so that will be a target to improve upon. They're within that range.
Find the positives, Rory. Find the positives.
And use it! Stay on now, under the foot.
It's Shea Hope. Finds his touch.
Dragons on the line. Yeah. Dragons on the line, please.
I can't believe Johnny Matthews hasn't scored.
They're going to move, so on the line. Guys, go in. Come in. Guys, go. Come in. I just said come in. I'm setting up the line out, please. Guys, come in.
I don't think there's been any driving line-out tries so far, which is obviously a massive strength to Glasgow. Most of their tries come from set piece.
4 tries from backs for Glasgow, and the one for the Dragons also.
No.
Goes Kennedy. Now Duncan Weir onto Stafford McDowell. Out wide, it's back to McDowell. Could be another one on here for the Warriors, but doesn't quite go to hand. Hitting the line at pace. Numbers here for the Warriors. Quick ball. Miss out Keble. Jordan sees a gap. Great tackle to hold down Tom Jordan. Then Kennedy onto Johnny Matthews. The ball has gone loose.
Go ahead, guys, go. Lost.
And it's Dragons' ball.
Okay,
and they will escape without conceding a 5th try. Glasgow Warriors really hit the accelerator there, expecting to go over for another try, but not to be.
And use it!
Jordan had a chance to throw the ball over the top at one stage to Cordero. He took it into contact, the overlap had gone. Good ball there from Stafford McDowell, gets the 1-2.
Oh, yeah, I thought Sean Kennedy had dropped that, but he just puts it on the back on the inside to Jamie Dobie. So it's really nice play, isn't it, from Sean Kennedy there?
This is the
you're right
chance.
here. I think he's just trying to think, get through, give the offload to Josh Mackay and let him have the hat-trick.
Just over 7,200 supporters sold out Scotstoun Stadium for this evening's game.
And it's brilliant to see, isn't it? You know, during the Six Nations, you do worry about these games sometimes, and you know, there's 2 huge internationals that have been played, and England coming up next week at Murrayfield. There's a lot of rugby on, but it's great to see everyone out. Full noise at Scotstoun Stadium.
There's an appetite, isn't it, for Scottish rugby, for fans to come out and watch Glasgow. They play a good brand. They're an all-round package. You know, you wouldn't say they're a 10-man rugby team. You wouldn't just say they're a line-out driving maul team. You know, they can play however they want, really. Conditions suit them.
Yeah, and that's certainly something Franco Smith's brought in and been really clear on, that is a danger of theirs, that maul, but they're happy to play rugby from anywhere and just keep having a crack. And it's brilliant to see, and it's produced some wonderful tries for Glasgow this season so far. And there's that maul we're talking about.
Looking for another one here. Jordan, and quick hands, but Cordero just sending his fellow winger Dobie backwards. This coming off the back of the 38,000 supporters that attended Scottish Gas Murrayfield for the meeting of Edinburgh and Glasgow. And the last URC meeting, and here goes Keble. Tough old man to stop. Short from Kennedy to Williamson. Venter. And now Duncan Weir fancies a go himself. Keble. And McDowell.
Tackle out!
Kennedy looked left, but instead it's the rampaging Kebble that calls for it.
Went off.
Sintu Manjesi. Now from under the post, Duncan Weir with the dummy, and then the long looping pass. Facundo Cordero celebrates a debut try. He's waited so long for that moment. But the Argentine with a debut try for the Glasgow Warriors.
Watch Duncan Weir here, number 23. Look at the delivery of the pass. Just double pumps it. Waits for the Dragons players to come up for the blitz and floats it over the top. That's really good experience. Class play for the number 10. The reserve number 10, I should say, today. Comes on, just that delayed pass, waits for all of the defensive line to come up. Then he can pick his man. It's a wonderful pass. It's beautiful to see.
And as you said, everyone had a part to play in that, didn't they? That was the first time we've seen that forward pod. Instead of going at the back, you looked at Johnny Matthews. He looked at the back, but just dropped Ollie Kebble off, who went through on the line break. He had a few big carries. Stafford McDowell was bumping people off left, right and centre. And it was that wee man there, the bog brush, Duncan Weir.
Why is that?
What do you think? Really? You wish you had hair like that still, eh?
Duncan Weir's first attempt of the night is unsuccessful, so Glasgow Warriors move on to 33 points.
Spoke about, you know, Glasgow having the all-round game, and it's becoming like Leinster-esque with them, because no matter who goes out, who comes in different positions, they always play the same brand of rugby. You know, they've got so much strength and depth coming through.
Yeah, that's it. And they don't change the way they want to play, whether it's Duncan Weir in there or Ross Thompson in there, Tom Jordan in there. They want to still play the same way. Sione Tuipulotu. You know, there's a lot of international stars that aren't in the team today, and they're still going at it, aren't they? And here they go again, just looking for any way to score.
Chip and chase, quick hands now. McDowell onto Kennedy. Cordero involved again. McDowell goes into play scrum half. Weir with another looping pass. It looked to be forward though. This time he just didn't quite get the angle that he did just moments before for the try.
Foot was out when he kicked it. Yeah.
Trying to do exactly the same thing here.
Well, I love this, Shanks. I love the way that they're just finding any way to get round him. You've seen Stafford McDowell putting it through. Sean Kennedy just putting a little toppy over the top. They can go round them, through them. It's just brilliant to see that they've got everything in there.
You know, if he just kicks that and there's no chase, it doesn't work. But everyone knows what they're doing. Just having a look at the pass here. That's forward. Even taking into account relative velocity. Still forward.
Matthews collecting at the back, then swung out from Weir to Jordan. McDowell. Oh, and it will almost come into the hands of Westwood, but he knocks on. McDowell's been at the centre of so much for the Glasgow Warriors.
It's crazy to think he doesn't have more caps, because that's how good he is and that's how important he is to Glasgow. I mean, it's great for Glasgow, mind, that they're not losing him to international duty, because he can play in these games. And he's still quite a young man, but you know, he's not just someone who's big and strong, sits people down, carries, gives you gain line. There's so much more to his game than that.
Yeah. And I'm sure we will see him in a Scotland jersey this Six Nations, because the way he's been playing, he's not missed a single minute in the URC. He's one of those players you can rely on all the time. He's got a little bit of everything. Huge left boot on him, and you just look at Scotland's centres at the moment with Cam Redpath, Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones. The list goes on. There's Chris Harris, who's not even making it in there at the moment.
It's not a good hit.
He's definitely deserving a place in that team, and hopefully match day 23 at some point.
We can't get square, boys, because we're unstable, all right? No fighting before the ball's in, boys.
He plays more 12, doesn't he, for Glasgow than he does 13. He's playing 13 today because Tom Jordan's at 12, but he's sore for his try. He's got an outside break on him as well.
Yeah, I've really liked him at 13. I think he's That little partnership there of Tom Jordan at 12. We spoke about him, his first start at 12 for Glasgow, usually 10, but he's lent himself really nicely. And you see here, his first receiver, and Dunkey will be going out the back if they get this out of the scrum.
And the penalty eventually comes. Fenter was knowing it was on its way.
17 again around the corner.
What do you reckon they'll do? Take the points?
Stay square, please. Yeah, there. It should go forward, then 17, not driving straight.
Good kick from Duncan Weir, not much of an angle.
Forward. 8.
There's time for more. Matthews hits the tail.
Ball.
And here's Kennedy, he's got a man on his inside, it's Stafford McDowell! Glasgow Warriors add another one. It's 2 for McDowell. And that caps off an outstanding individual display from the Glasgow Warriors captain.
Just as we were waxing lyrical about him, look, he's at the front of the line now. You don't often see that, do you? You don't often see a number 13 front of the line out, then taking an inside ball off the peel.
That is the danger of having him there, isn't it? It just sits inside Sean Kennedy, and he's like another back row. And we can tell the truth there. We were just pointing between who do we go for as player of the match, and you're just pointing down that back line of Tom Jordan, Stafford McDowell, Josh Mackay. The way that all three of them have gone, it is so difficult to pick. Does anyone ever split one? Give them half the medal each.
Get a medal.
I think you get a medal. Yeah, if there was a bottle or something, you'd just tell them to share it, wouldn't you? But
Ryan's got plenty of them in the house, he knows.
yeah, loads and loads and loads.
As Weir successful this time, moving on to the 40-point mark, go the Glasgow Warriors with 6 tries to the good.
Yeah, I'm taking back what I said about that last 20 minutes for Dragons being their most difficult, and they should do all right now because they've got a young group of players on. It's sort of fallen away, hasn't it? Shanks and Glasgow just starting to light up a little bit.
So Rory Hart has come on to make his debut, the Scotland under-20s player, as that one just goes forward.
See what comes.
Loose ball to play, and here's Westwood.
High tackle there.
High tackle
Leave him.
by Jordan, and
10 there.
off goes
Yeah,
Shea
play
Hope.
on. Play on.
Seuli. Plays a neat 1-2 with Ollie Andrew.
Okay, don't lift the leg. Tackle, move.
Approaching the final 2 minutes. O'Brien. Owen
Committed there from him, Myers.
bounces out the
Hold out,
tackle
no.
of Jordan,
Hold away.
who had to be discouraged from going
2
in.
minutes, Gracie.
Now,
Thank you.
Angus O'Brien targeting Doby. Oh, it's a wonderful spin from Jamie Doby. Was he tripped there? Spotted by the
Penalty.
assistant on the far side.
Okay. Where stands. Just
He's
here.
clearly jumped across into his path.
Clearly changed path.
No, great bit of skill there from Doby, and there has been plenty of great action. Ryan, who is your BKT URC player of the match?
Oh, boys, this is tough. Really, really tough, because I mentioned all those backs. I think Max Williamson's carried really well. Ben Afshar and Ross Thompson at 9 and 10. I know they're both off the field, but
Numbers.
they've been brilliant.
6.
Mentioned all those boys there, but between Josh Mackay and Stafford McDowell, they've been absolutely outstanding. I think with
10 metres.
the way that Stafford McDowell's defended, run those down lines, he's just pipped it for me. I'll go and find out whether Josh Mackay's got the Everton socks on, don't worry, nonetheless. But for me, player of the match, Stafford McDowell.
Well, Warriors not finished yet. Here is the BKT URC player of the match, Stafford McDowell, and now up to Henkel Venter.
That is unless Stafford or Josh score another try and get a hat-trick, then I might have to change it.
Venter's been good as well, hasn't he, off the base of scrum. There has been so many players. You're right, that Stafford McDowell back peel on the inside just pipped it for you, didn't it, as man of the match?
Yeah, I was trying to think about it. His defence as well, the way he's defended, he's got a few turnovers. So's Tom Jordan, but he's captained the team really well.
Tackle!
Gave Josh Mackay a few weeks ago, so I'm just starting to think Stafford deserves it. He can have it.
So final play.
I guess that's time up.
And
Turnover's good, leave it!
It is turned over. It is Dragons ball. Owen can fling it out, and one last attack here for Westwood and the Dragons. Mackay with the tackle on him.
First man.
And it's gone loose. Warriors ball if they want to claim it, and knocked on in the process. Rather scrappy end to the game, but there's been some brilliant rugby throughout that have seen the Glasgow Warriors score 6 tries. There was a retort from Will Reid in that second half, but they started so quickly out the blocks, blasting their way to 2 tries in the opening 3 minutes. Stafford McDowell was with one of those. Josh Mackay got the one after 30 seconds, the fastest try of the URC season. He added another before half-time. First try for Ben Afshar and a debut try for Facundo Cordero before the player of the match, Stafford McDowell, added the 6th just before the end. So the full-time score at Scotstoun Stadium, Glasgow Warriors 40, Dragons 7.